Some people are not lonely because they are ignored, they are lonely because everyone notices them, and yet nobody ever gets close enough to really know them. You know exactly what it feels like to be in a full room and still sense that invisible wall of glass sitting between you and everyone else, close enough to see through but impossible to cross. You have watched it happen. The moment you arrive somewhere, the energy shifts, not loudly, but just enough that you know the room felt you before you said a single word. You were not cold, you were not difficult, you simply showed up as yourself, and somehow that alone was enough to quietly rearrange everything around you. You keep searching for what you did wrong, replaying every moment, but the honest answer is that you did nothing wrong, you simply carry something other people can feel but cannot name. The most quietly powerful people on Earth are often the ones standing at the edge of things, watching connection happen easily for everyone else, wondering in private why it always feels just slightly out of reach for them. This is not about fixing yourself or becoming easier for others to handle. It is about finally understanding what you carry and why, so you can stop wondering what is wrong with you. You never accused them of anything, you simply asked a normal question, and what came back was a 5-minute explanation covering every decision they have ever made, delivered like someone already found guilty of something. People over-explain around you because they have already quietly decided your standards are high and your opinion matters, and they are protecting themselves from falling short before you have given them any reason to worry. Stop asking what you did wrong in those moments and start asking a more honest question. What kind of space are you holding that makes the people around you feel they need to perform just to exist in it? Most people cannot sit in silence without panicking. They fill every quiet moment with words, laughter, anything, because silence feels to them like evidence that something has broken. But you can sit in stillness without any discomfort at all, and that quality alone, that genuine ease with quiet, makes certain people deeply and inexplicably uneasy around you. The person who speaks least in any room is actually watched the most, every expression read for meaning, every pause interpreted as something significant, and your silence gets mistaken for judgment every single time. Silence is a form of power that most people spend their lives running from. You hold it naturally, and that is exactly what unsettles them. Think about the last time someone rushed nervously to fill a silence you were completely fine sitting inside. That was not awkwardness on your part, that was simply the weight of your presence landing on someone who did not know what to do with it. When was the last time someone genuinely disagreed with you to your face, in the moment, without waiting until you left the room to say what they actually thought? People who feel intimidated will go to almost any length to avoid direct conflict. They nod, they agree, they say exactly what they think you want to hear even when everything inside them is screaming something different. The painful irony is that you are probably the person in the room who most wants to be challenged, but the very conviction and clarity that make you worth disagreeing with are the exact same things that make people too afraid to try. You can be completely surrounded by people agreeing with everything you say and feel more alone in that moment than you would sitting in an empty room by yourself. When something goes wrong in your world, are you almost always the last to find out, the person people only come to when the situation has already become a full crisis? This is not a trust issue. People hide things from you not because they doubt you, but because they trust your standards so completely that they would rather exhaust themselves solving the problem alone than risk bringing you something unfinished. They are protecting themselves from a disappointment you would probably never have expressed, and by the time they finally come to you, the small manageable thing has become something far harder than it ever needed to be. Ask yourself honestly, what is it about how you show up that makes the people around you feel they need to have everything figured out before they can bring something to you? You walk into a conversation that was loose and easy and laughing, and the moment your presence registers, something shifts, nobody leaves, but the whole energy quietly recalibrates around you. Jokes get slightly more filtered, people sit up a fraction straighter, the conversation finds a more careful gear, and nobody in the room is even aware they are doing it. Psychologists call this status calibration. We unconsciously adjust our behavior around people we perceive as highly capable, and your presence triggers it without you saying a single word. Your face at rest reads as evaluation, your stillness reads as assessment. You are simply listening, simply present, but that is never how it lands on the people who do not know you well enough yet to read you accurately. You are not creating distance on purpose. You are simply being exactly who you are, and who you are raises the room's awareness of itself the moment you walk in. Start counting how often in a single week people apologize to you before they have said or done anything wrong. Sorry to bother you, sorry I know you are busy, offered before a single real word of what they actually wanted to say. That preemptive apology is one of the clearest behavioral signs of perceived intimidation, a quiet attempt to soften your reaction before you have even had the chance to give one. You never laid those eggshells on the floor, you were not even present when they appeared, and yet here people are, stepping carefully around them every time they approach you. The people who apologize to you most are often the most sensitive and thoughtful ones. They care deeply about how they land with you, and your energy makes them feel they need to earn the right to simply ask. Once you genuinely understand this, you can do something real with it. You can let people see that the door is open and they do not need to rehearse before they walk through. This is the sign that changes everything. When you do something kind, a genuine compliment, an unexpected check-in, a real unguarded laugh, people look surprised, not just pleased, actually surprised, like it does not fit the picture they already built of you. That surprise is the most honest window you will ever get into how you are being perceived in all the ordinary moments when you are not paying attention to it. It means people have constructed a version of you in their minds, capable, composed, slightly unreachable, and your warmth just broke through that picture in a way they were completely unprepared for. You have probably spent years wondering why connection feels harder for you than it seems to for everyone else, why you can be in a full room and still feel like nobody actually sees you. But what if the distance people keep was never about who you are, only about who they assumed you were before getting close enough to find out differently? The most intimidating people are almost always the softest ones inside. They feel everything, they notice everything, they just do not perform it, and that restraint gets mistaken for coldness every single time. You do not need to become someone else. You do not need to shrink your presence or manufacture a warmth you do not feel or perform a softer version of yourself for people who have not taken the time to understand you. You just need to let people in 1 degree more than you usually allow, not a transformation, not a reinvention, just 1 inch of open door, and the right people will find their way through. The world does not need you smaller, it needs you fully visible, and there is a real difference between being powerful and being untouchable, because you are allowed to be both present and warm at the same time. The most magnetic people are not the most polished. They are the ones whose warmth reaches people before their presence does, and that is the only distance left for you to close. That is the only work, not changing who you are, just making sure the right people can finally find you.
Like to learn more about human psychology? Like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe my channel now. Thank you for watching.